You're tuned in to Just One Hot Mom with host Nanika Ansari. Get ready. She's about to bring you that fire, that flavor, that heat, all that passion, and more from around the world and in your neighborhood. Stay tuned.
Hey, howdies, you are tuned into Just One Hot Mom. I am your host, Nanika Ansari, and guess what, y'all? It is still a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Yes, it is.
Y'all know, they know that all year long I've been complaining about the weather. I was sick, then I got well, it was cold when it was supposed to be hot, so I'm going to tell y'all, it's still beautiful in Cleveland, Ohio. I am so excited. But let's get into this, because I figure, like, in my mind, I have more questions to ask this couple now that I've met them and stuff. So, you guys, in the studio today with me, I'm so excited to have Me2WeTv, Bennie and Mo Tucker. Hey. And they are Me2WeTv.
Me2WeTv.
Yeah, so I'm so excited. So let's start this off.
All right.
Who are Bennie and Mo Tucker as individuals? Who's the me?
Who's the mean?
Yeah, who are you as an individual? Before you got to the we, who are you?
I thought you said who's mean. I'm like, oh my. Let's see. I would be describing myself. Mm-hmm. You know, remember that album back in the day by TLC that was entitled Crazy Sexy Cool? Ooh, yeah, girl, that's me.
We gonna get along.
That's me. Yeah. That's me right there. Crazy sexy cool. That's Mo. Yeah, I used to, a lot of people, at least in the city of Cleveland, know me more as Mo Better. I used to do radio with Radio 1 back in the day.
I do know.
You remember that? See? I did radio, I think for total, including Radio 1, maybe like 14 years.
Wow.
Yep. I started out at ZAK in Akron, Ohio. And then I moved to Cleveland and even did some radio sometime in Cincinnati.
Wow, okay.
So that's Mo.
It's Mo Better.
That's like Mo Better.
Now that I know who she is. Like, yes. All right, so Bennie, who are you over there in that corner?
I married a celebrity.
Oh, whatever.
I'm nobody.
Oh.
You have your film credit.
Yeah. Bennie is just a local kid from Cleveland, Ohio, preacher's son, you know.
He's a good guy.
You appear to be a good guy.
He's just he was a little church boy. That's what I used to call him.
When you met him, he was a church boy?
Yeah, he still is.
Oh my
to some degree, I'm telling you. Like, you haven't done anything. I'm a bad influence.
So now we know he is the innocent one in the relationship. Yeah. She is trouble. See, as those preacher kids always find trouble. They always find a way.
That's true.
So you two are two divorcees.
Correct.
Salute, because I'm a proud divorcee. Like, people are like, you should. I'm like, I'm okay with it.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah. It is okay.
So when you two got together, wait, first of all, tell us how you met, because I was first of all, you guys, they have some amazing videos. We're going to talk. They're going to drop their information, but tell us, you two met on Facebook.
Yeah.
How?
You want to tell the story?
Well, you tell it better than I do.
Okay, so check this out. So, I wasn't big on Facebook years back. Like, I would be that type that I'd get on every couple of months. Like, it was just too much, did nothing for me. But I saw this post that Bennie was involved in with a mutual friend of ours, and it was kind of like a little deep intellectual post. Okay. And I'm reading it, and she's going back and forth with him, and I'm like, who is this dude? Like, I know her, but I don't know him. And so I reach out to her like, hey, who's this guy? Who is Bennie Tucker? She's like, oh, that's just my best friend. You know how best friends are. Holla. You can't have no best friend but me. But okay, I don't recall you having a best friend.
Right. Who is this guy? Where did he come from?
And at that point, I had moved out of state. I had moved to Atlanta. So I'm like, you didn't caught a new best friend while I was gone. But anyway, so y'all dating? Like, what's up? What's going on with him? No, it's just my friend. I said, okay, then it should be our friend. Right. So honestly, I inboxed him on Messenger, and it's like, hey, we got a mutual friend. My name is Mo. Yada, yada, yada. I just want to get to know you. He's like, yeah, I already know about you. And I'm like, okay. So he's like, I see you live in Atlanta. And I was like, oh, yeah, like, I'm never moving back to Cleveland. And he's like, well, I hate Atlanta. I would never come there. And that literally was the end of our conversation.
It was over.
Really?
It was over.
Wow. Right. So you find him intellectually attractive because he's having a conversation on Facebook. But then you grab the man, and then you like, I'm not coming to Cleveland. And I have to agree with him. I'm not a big fan of moving to Atlanta. I will visit, but I could not live there.
I was tired of the weather. Like, I just needed to be warm all the time.
Nah, you can move to New Orleans. I don't know.
That's it. That's honestly how it started.
So you two meet on Facebook. It doesn't work out, but then lo and behold, something happened because now you two are a we.
But you know what? Yes. What happened was 2 years went by, literally 2 years, and my mom passed away. So I came back to Ohio to handle her affairs. And at the end of the service, you know, everyone leaves. They're heading over to the repast. You know, that same close girlfriend came up to me, and this guy was with her. And, you know, I was really like just really incoherent at the time, but I recognized the face. Like, I know that face. Oh, that's the guy from Facebook. And Benny had came along and came to my mom's memorial
in support of our mutual friend.
He's saying that now. He was low-key stalking you. You know that now.
No, because he was in a relationship.
Yeah. At that point, we had both moved on. We had moved on and both got married.
Yeah.
Wow. So you two knew each other before you even became married and then divorcees.
Exactly. When we had that moment on Facebook, he's like, I hate Atlanta. And I'm like, I'm not coming back to Cleveland. We both started dating other people, and we married those individuals.
But look at God.
Won't he do?
Ladies, pay attention, honey. He may have to walk away today, but he may be back in 2 years.
Yeah. And that 2 years went by, and, you know, I thanked him for coming, and I went back to Atlanta. I was in that relationship. I was married.
And we didn't even keep in touch after that.
No.
You know, I came, I supported, and I left.
Yeah, we didn't inbox each other, text, nothing whatsoever. So then another 2 years went by. This is 4 years now. And he sent me a message out of nowhere, literally, that said, sorry, I've been MIA. That's all the message said.
2 years.
2 years. 2 years.
I had to look over him.
The thing is that, you know, her mom passed. And I didn't follow up. I didn't check on her. So I was like, you know, as a friend, sorry, I've been MIA. You know?
Yeah.
I think he's slick.
And I immediately, because the name in the phone just said B. Tucker. And I'm like, who do I know named B. Tucker? It's been years. Like, I never call, never text. And it took me a minute. I'm like, oh, that is Bennie Tucker. And I'm like, oh, you know, how you doing? How's the wife, the kids? And he's like, yeah, so no. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I had no idea. You know, I really, really was torn up about it because I had just gone through a divorce maybe like 6 months prior. So I knew what that felt like. And I kind of felt bad that I wasn't aware of it. Like, he found out about my mom and showed up. How could I not know, you know, he's about going through a divorce? Yeah, but I wasn't on social media any longer. And so I came to town for graduation, and he was really, really just like disconnected, and we all, like a group of us, went out and bring him out of that shell, and then the rest is history.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just telling y'all, ladies, just in case you're questioning, like, oh, I'm really not gonna mess with that dude anymore. He could come back 4 years later.
Yeah, 4 years later.
Be patient.
Yeah, social media isn't all that bad.
Right. So, Benny, what was the adjustment like with her coming back into your life?
Good question. We took it slow. We didn't have any kind of plans right away. When we started talking, we didn't have any kind of expectations from each other. She started like sending me little quotes, things to get me through my day.
That's what happened.
So she would have like, go ahead and tell her.
Okay, so, and then I'm gonna let him talk for real. I'm gonna let him talk. So check this out. Once I came home and I saw him and we all went out to eat, and I was like, man, he's really just not doing well. So I told him, I said, hey, I've been there. But nobody wants to hear that, though. It'll get better. So I didn't even say that. What I said was, I'm going to send you a message every now and then just to encourage you. Like, that's it. No expectation, no hidden motive, just to motivate him.
At that time, I was just disconnected from everybody.
Yeah.
You know, I was just trying to focus on me and get me together. And whatever she wanted to do, that was on her.
Honey, because I was living life in the ATL. I was free, divorced. I was like, yes, we got to get her groove back.
Women get divorced and something happens.
Something
you just
happens.
Change, you know, you
like,
cut your hair off,
yes.
you put on that dress, you just be like, I'm out here. And so what I think, we don't realize that men sometimes take it a little hard. And so it took you some time to heal from that part of the situation. So here it is. She's back in the city. You two are dating. What was your definition of dating when you two started dating? Because I always tell people my definition. I want to know what other people think.
Actually, we weren't dating right away. We didn't date right away. We were just still platonic, mutual, friends. And she was sending me these encouraging messages.
Every single day for 3 weeks, I sent her a message. I thought it'd be once a week, but what happened was it was like a journal for me.
Wow.
It was like a voice journal for me. It was really like I was talking to myself.
It was a voice text.
Yeah, let me encourage him as well. And I would send it. And it could be anything about the sermon I heard that Sunday. I'm sitting in traffic, but just to hear the birds chirp early in the morning. It was about whatever.
You were speaking life into that man.
But you know what? I was really speaking life into myself. But he never, ever once replied. Never for 3 weeks straight. Nothing. Not a, I got it. Thanks. Why you stalking me? She crazy. Like nothing.
Okay, I need to know why.
Yeah.
I even asked my friend. I was like, "Is this girl? She cool, and she's reaching out to me, and I don't know why."
Yeah.
I didn't know why. When you're coming out of a divorce, you're guarded. So I was in a place where I was guarded. I didn't know who was connecting, with me for what reasons, so I'm like, we friends, but I don't really know you all like that, so I'm like, okay, what's her agenda? Like, what's really going on? But she was consistent. And
see, just as much as we ladies need consistency, I think men need consistency as well.
They do.
And so you become a we.
Right.
Now
Finally.
Right.
Finally. And so what made you guys decide? Because how long have you two been married?
It'll be 2 years.
2 years, right? I'm like, you're still newlywed.
Yeah.
And so what made you guys decide to take your marriage and make it so transparent to the world to see? Because you guys are exposing everything on your YouTube channel.
Once we started talking, it was like, okay, we're talking every day now. And let's just put all the cards on the table. Okay, what are we doing? What are we right now? Like, because I don't have time to waste. I'm 40 plus. She's 30 plus.
Don't do it. Don't you do it.
It's cool. I'm older than him.
We basically just put all the cards on the table.
Oh, and he put them. Listen, when you are ready, he put everything on the table. Like in the middle of us conversing on the phone, he just broke in like, listen, I got this much student debt. This is my credit score. Like just out of nowhere, he started listing all the things. I was still in Atlanta at the time. And it was like, okay. And he was like, no, this is just what it is. It's like,
'cause I was done playing games.
Yeah.
I was done with all of the trying to put my best foot forward to try to win somebody. No, you're going to take me for who I am. Like
so you
right
listed everything, the credit score, student.
I did.
down to the student loan debt. I was like, okay.
To the penny.
And 54 cents.
Right.
And if you want to pay that 54 cents, I'm good. So how did you know you were ready again, Benny? Because I've been talking to like a lot of guys lately who are old, once they get older, they're like, I'm ready to settle down. I'm just going to put everything out there. They're like the second guy to say that. How did you know that you were ready to once again try again?
I didn't. I was done with marriage. I was completely done. But it was something about Mo. It was some kind of draw. And I used that term too. It was a draw that she had. And her happiness, her being happy with herself helped me in a strange kind of way. But, you meet people and they want to meet somebody that will make them happy. Mo was already happy.
I'm so glad you said that. Like,
she had her own happiness. She had her own, self-awareness. And I'm like, I like that. And I want that for me. And that's how we got closer.
Yeah. And told him he had to find that for himself. I was not going to come into this relationship to give you that. Like, you need to fall in love with yourself before you can even be a friend to me. And that's
See,
what
I
he
can
had to do the
appreciate
work
that.
on himself.
Oh, see, she said it, y'all. Key
had to do
point. You
work.
have to do the work. So often we think that like we do like 3 weeks of work and we get over something and then we're done with it and I don't need to work on myself. But yourself is a constant project. Like you're always working on yourself because
Absolutely.
you're always discovering something new like every single day.
Absolutely.
Because you don't know what you will be like 3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad she said do the work. And I'm glad you said she already had her joy.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like. She
Yeah.
already had her inner joy.
I didn't
And
have to
so-
make her happy.
and
know.
see, and I think you're right. A lot of people are looking for someone to make them happy and not already happy. If you guys want to call in, the telephone number is 440-252-0518, 440-252-0518. So this first year of marriage, you're making it transparent for everybody. You're in the second year and you're still being transparent. Was it scary when you initially were like, okay, we're just going to expose?
No, because we did it before we became Me2We. We were transparent already. Like, okay, this is dumb. You know, like, why are we living these lives where we got to try to put our best foot forward and try to paint this great picture of ourselves? Let's be transparent. Who are you really?
Yeah.
You know, so we were already that before Me2We came together. So it was easier once we became a we to do it together.
And we had no intentions on starting what this has developed into. Honestly, I knew that Benny was a big social media person, and I wasn't. And I didn't want to live in the shadows of his past marriage. Like, he was starting to pull back on everything. Not that I needed it for validation. I just wanted him to know that he could be free completely. Not that we needed to announce what we're doing, that we're dating, where we're going. It's just, you don't have to worry about what other people are going to say if you show that you're happy again. Because I ain't on that. I could care less what people think. That's just like not in my DNA whatsoever. And I wasn't going to put that cape on. So I was like, you know what? They're already talking about us. Like, they're already talking about us. Like,
Because you know everybody.
they're already talking about you.
I was like, girl, you know,
Because
she
it's
got
like,
divorced.
yeah, like, where does come from out of nowhere? Now all of a sudden, you know, his post just said divorce. Now it's like, oh, engaged. Like,
I'm
wait,
happy.
hold up. And you know they watching. So let's give them something to watch, the real us. And so we did this one video that said, hey, we're just going to be transparent about the first year of our marriage.
Yeah,
Every
because
30
people
days.
say that the first year or 2 or 3 are the hardest. So we said, okay, let's just share this journey with everybody. And then we can solicit help from people,
Yeah.
people who are seasoned veterans in the game. They can, you know, listen to our videos and they may give us some feedback, some help. What we didn't realize is that once we started doing it, we were helping other people.
I know, because I told her, I was like, I love keep stalking their videos, like, and then when I was emailing you guys, I was like, wait, I got another question. So it took me like a minute to get their questions together, because I was like, oh my god, like I still have more questions like this one. This is one of my favorite things,
All right.
the candle blowing.
Oh,
I need
yeah.
to know if you still do it, and
Yes.
like who thought that up.
Actually, it was myself.
You have to explain, because they don't know. Explain what the
okay.
candle blowing is.
So our 60-day video, like 60 days, our second month into our marriage, we did a video, and it was about that awkward moment when you're in a relationship and you want to talk about something, but as soon as somebody says, hey, we need to talk, you get defensive, like instantly,
Right.
like, what's this getting ready to be about? Oh my God, what now? And so I was trying to think of a way that you could put your defenses down, even if you didn't, without saying, hey, we need to
putting it
talk.
down.
Yeah. And so we light a lot of candles in the house anyway. And so I was like, you know what? If I light this particular candle in our bedroom, this signifies
Right.
that there is something very transparent I want to discuss. Like, I don't want you to come in guarded. I don't want you to think it's an attack. I'm not out to attack you, but I really need to express some things and I just need you to be open and to hear me. It's not, now let's go back and forth. You don't get your pad and writing down notes while I'm talking. Just let me express that. And
Basically a safe space.
a safe space. Exactly. And so what happens is, whether he lights it or I light it, the other person has to be completely just submissive, so to speak, because this is a touching moment, whatever it is going to be. And then once you discuss it, and get on the same page, then we both can blow it out.
And so
It
I
only
was
takes
like-
one to light it, but it takes both of us to resolve it, to blow it out. And until then, that candle's going to keep burning.
And see, I like the fact that when I was watching the video, I'm like, wow, that's a cool concept to think like,
Yeah.
okay. I was like, we burn this wax all night. Because, you never know what's going to happen. But the thought that one person can initiate the conversation that may open the door for other conversations.
Exactly.
And then settling on being on the same page and we both get to do that together. I just thought, I was like, wow, that is such a cool concept. I don't know if we're going to implement it yet because that candle may burn all the way down.
If you keep in
to-
mind that, when somebody's telling their feelings are their feelings.
And they're valid.
They're
right.
valid.
There's no right or wrong at that point, So whatever Mo or I want to express, that's how we feel.
Yeah.
And
it's not to challenge how you feel.
right.
You just where you have to take some accountability is how you how you act on those feelings. But you can feel that way. So we try to light that candle before you react according
Before
to
it
how you
gets
feel.
too far.
Exactly.
In the same video, I want to say, see, I low-key stalk y'all. Y'all already know this. In the same video, Mo, you said that, I think it was that video, the one after it.
Okay.
You said that, Benny.
Okay.
Communication, sex, and money are the three things that can bring demise to a marriage. Why do you think that's true? I think it's true, too, but I want to know what are your thoughts on it? Money for sure.
Money for sure. When the money is tight, it brings everything down. Yeah. Tension is high, and it just causes a snowball effect in the house. So, of course, the intimacy, you lose the intimacy. Yeah. That's
Cut off.
that's
You
done.
can please don't talk to me. Don't touch me. Don't
Yeah.
even look my way.
Yeah. What was the third one?
Money.
Communication.
Communication. Oh, well, yeah. So,
I mean, you guys covered that with the candle. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, that whole candle thing got me.
like
I was
that.
like pretty emotional about
Oh,
it.
thank you.
But I like the fact that you guys said that you guys had to be on the same page because in another video you said that Benny gave you permission to heal. And I want to know, why did you think that you needed permission to heal?
a lot of people ask that question.
See, so I'm mad. I want to know. I'm know that it didn't say it in the video or I would have known.
Honestly, he didn't know that he was giving me that permission. He made the marriage, the journey about us, which meant I didn't have to carry that alone by myself. And it was prompted, honestly, from the from
You guys have
your
got to
current
check out
president.
the whole video.
And the sex allegations of assaulting women.
Right.
And I had never had this conversation prior to my husband. Honestly, I think he found out about it in the video because I had no intentions on going that deep. But I knew I was in a safe space with him. I knew if any time ever in my life, this is where I felt most open, most comfortable, most received, most loved, and therefore Mo could just be Mo, whatever that is, and let any and all things out, and I wouldn't be judged for it or asked questions. And so when that moment came, it was life-changing. It was life-changing for me. It was life-changing in our marriage. It's something that I held on to, like I said, at that point for 20 years. It would be difficult for me to even watch rape scenes in a movie. Like, I just would get fidgety. If I'm at home, I'll find a reason to walk out. Like, if people are around, it would take everything in me not to get emotional watching those, because it could feel like I'm living that all over again. And prior to that, I couldn't even have this conversation. I couldn't. So I was able to release that. And I didn't realize that there were a lot of other women holding
Who
on.
were holding on to that.
Yes. And it's a terrifying.
A scary thing.
It is.
It's a scary thought because you know that you're not the only person going through it, and there's somebody out there who needs to release their story.
Yeah.
But they don't have the same safe space that Benny created for you to
Right.
release that story. So it kind of makes, like, after I watched it, I was like, it made me feel bad for some people I know who
Who
don't
want it.
have that space.
Yeah.
And you're like, how can we create that space? Now,
And
Benny,
it
No, go
made
ahead.
other women that were watching reach out to me, and they started to open up and pour out. And of course, I was there as much as I could, but I'm wounded too. I need
You're
some
healing
help.
too. You're like, I had to get permission to heal.
Yeah, like I need to see a counselor or something, because now I don't know what to do with all this openness. And so he was very protective even in that moment. Like, hey, we appreciate it, but I still got to get my wife together. This is like open heart surgery. So now we need to find a proper way of dealing with it and moving forward. And I always felt like I needed to go back and help, but I still needed some help myself. I just wanted to let them know, and not knowing that that's what I was doing, that they could just open up.
You could
just
tell
open up.
somebody.
You
and there are
can let it
people
go.
that are receptive to
Yeah.
hearing what you have to say. Now, Benny, when she released that information and when she was trying to heal, what were your thoughts? Like, because you're her husband, you're her protector, you're the Superman. What were your thoughts in that moment?
I just wanted to hear her. I wanted to hear her heart. I didn't want to. A lot of men think that they have to fix it. You know, we're always looking for something to fix, but sometimes people just need to get stuff off their chest. They need to speak their feelings in their heart, and just to be that safe space. I didn't feel obligated to fix it, to, make everything right. Because I knew there was nothing I could do but just be there for her. So I just, let her, come to me, and I was that safe space for her.
Yeah.
I'm telling y'all, being in the room with them, you could just feel the magnet. Like, he is protecting her right now. Like, okay, Nick, what's your question? No, but I can appreciate the fact that, you as a man in the relationship are like, hey, I had to create this for my wife. There was no other space for her to do this in. And so I was going to create the space for her. And then you feeling vulnerable enough to say, hey, this is what it is, to lay the cards on the table. Because as we were speaking before, I feel all too often people don't share enough information, so we walk and we go through life thinking that we're the only people going through stuff, and we're not. So for you to expose and share your marriage, what has been the thing that people are like, are y'all serious? Like, do people be like, is that really y'all, or are y'all putting on the show?
No, we have gotten questions like that, but that honestly, every day is not cherries. We're not holding hands and skipping along the white picket fence either. It is a marriage. It is work. It is definitely work. You're not going to always win or get it your way, but we always keep in the forefront that it's him and I against the problem, not against each other. And if you remember that in the moment, then you'll be able to exhale.
Hey, caller, you're on with.
We always keep in the forefront that.
Can you turn your radio down for us, caller?
Problem. Hi, this is Marquita.
Hi, Marquita. How are you? You're on with.
Good.
Can you turn your radio down just a little bit?
I'll turn it down. I gotta turn it down.
Yeah, a little bit. We get a little feedback from you, sweetie.
Absolutely.
Okay, and you're on with Just One Hot Mom, and you're on with Me2WeTv. What's your question, dear?
I did turn it down.
Okay.
Turn it all the way down. Oh, okay. Hold on, I'm turning it all the way down. Okay, is that better?
That's better. How can we help you today, ma'am?
Okay, so my question, first, hi, Benny. Hi, Mo.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi. So I actually posted my question on you guys' Facebook page, and I'm actually sitting here with my boyfriend because we really wanted to hear your story on how you two really took it upon yourselves to merge your families. Like what activities or other things did you plan to introduce your children to one another, because that's the stage that we're currently in our relationship.
Yeah,
thank you.
Sure.
Thank you for your call, and that's a great question. One of the things we talked about was being purposeful in introducing our kids, and the number one thing we did was we wanted to have dinner together. And at dinner, we introduced something called high-low, and that was when we discussed. Everybody went around the table. We discussed the high point of our day and the low point of our day.
A lot of families are doing that now.
Really?
I find out. It's a hot topic.
Yeah, and so that's how we introduced the kids, and we got to know a lot of interesting things, about each other doing that.
Dinner together is very, very important. Like, we don't slide on that whatsoever. There is no electronics at that time. Even when we ride in a car together, we communicate with each other. In our particular situation, I had an older son that was already out of the house, but then I had my younger daughter, and my husband has a daughter. So it was important for them, well, the challenge with them was my daughter's always on me, his daughter's always on him. So being able to share that parent, I traveled to Cleveland in the beginning, back and forth to spend time with Jada in the beginning, just to get to know her one-on-one. Benny really didn't come to Atlanta, but it was a lot of phone conversations, and letting them know that I'm just not married to your mom, like I'm married to you. Even when he proposed to me, he proposed to my daughter as well, like her own separate little ring. Oh, that you could probably tell your own story about that.
I just didn't want them to feel like, I was taking their mom away. And she didn't want that, for my daughter either. So we were very purposeful in trying to find ways to, make everybody feel comfortable and accept it.
And what we do is we focus on whatever is Brooklyn's passion. We make sure we celebrate her and that passion, and that is going to be all about her. And whatever Jada is passionate about, we give all attention to that. And then when she visits, when Jada comes to visit, I let her have her father. I do. Benny feels like, I think we should all blend together and do stuff. But I understood from my last marriage, because there's lessons in everything, that my stepdaughter before used to feel some kind of way that, my daughter is in the house with her dad. Like, you have my dad every single day. And I'm over every other weekend. So I learned from that. And so when Jada comes over to our home, I tell him it is okay that you have her. He'll have dates with the girls that has nothing to do with me. Like, I do not get to go. It's just about him and his girls, or even individually, like it's date night just with one, there's date night with the other, and then we all do things together.
That's really smart on your part, Dad. Cause Thank you, Marquita, for calling in.
Thank you.
Hotties, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back momentarily. Stay tuned. Hey hotties, welcome back. You are tuned into Just One Hot Mom. I am your host, Nanika Ansari, and if you are just tuning in, I am on with Me2WeTv, Bennie and Mo Tucker. Hey guys.
Hey.
All right, so we're welcoming them back. So you guys, they just answered, we just went into questions about the kids, and so I was watching. Mainly, I watched their videos like all last week, just like during a
binge
watch. Rewatch, right? After rewatch. And so, your son is the oldest.
Yes.
And so, how is it? Because I always tell people, like, when I let Simone go, I was like, you don't got to come back. How was it when he came back home? And you guys have a pattern of what you're doing. The girls are used to it, and now he's reintroduced to the thing. How was it? How was his initial adjustment? One, because he's the man in your life before Benny came along.
Right.
And two, like, he's older, he's been out in the world, and then he comes back home.
Exactly. He came back, he was 21 at the time, and totally unexpected. I think we were on 10 months into the marriage, and it's like, listen, I just need to regroup and come home. That was interesting. He's more of an observer. So he'll sit back and watch, because it's really been the three of us, which means me, myself, and my son for the longest, like thick as thieves. So for this to be another guy, well, a husband, it's like, first, because, he watched the last one and it just didn't work out too well. So it was more like, I'm going to just sit back and watch. Very, very quiet in the house. They really didn't butt heads on a lot of stuff. Him and his sister connected instantly, but I was trying to find a way where they wouldn't always be super glued with each other when Jada came over, because I didn't want her to feel isolated.
Right,
you know what I'm
saying?
saying?
You have two little sisters now.
Yes, and instead of just one. And, my kids are super, super close. So I think it only may have been some tension when it came to a moment where Brooklyn was kind of cutting up, and my son feels like he's her father, because we lived in another state, so her dad wasn't in Atlanta, so he felt like he was the father, he's the man of the house. And then when you have Benny here, no, I'm the father.
That was a very interesting moment too, because
really, because he's a grown man, so it's not like you're talking to a teenager.
Right.
So you're talking to another grown man.
So in the moment, he pulled me into my kitchen to talk to me.
Oh no! First, he pulled our daughter out of our bedroom that we're disciplining. Knocked on the door, we didn't respond. He opens it, comes in and snatch her out like, let me have her for a minute. I did not even know what to say. Like, I just stood there.
You're like, excuse me.
We let him have his moment.
He was just exercise. He wanted to see how far he could take it.
Oh my!
And so
I'm thinking that, like Mo said, he's not used to another man being in the picture, and I realized that so I'm not about to go off on him. So I let him have his moment, and he pulled me into my kitchen to talk to me, and so I let him talk, vent, get it off his chest. And then I explained to him how it was going to go. And we have not had an issue since then.
Yeah.
And see, I think that's a good, I think far too often people think that you have to be harsh and disciplined, but like you have to hand, like, I'm the man, I'm going to lay down the law, instead of just having a conversation.
Yeah.
Because you never know who's open to what. And so he was open to receiving what you had to say.
Yeah, because I could have took that, differently. I could have took it as disrespectful, but I had to view it from his eyes. He's being protective of his sister, as he has always done. And so I had to realize that. And so I let him talk. I let him get it off his chest, and then he let me talk. And it was a mutual respect at that point.
We set more rules for the house than him. He's an adult, but you're still an adult in our home. So as long as he abided by the rules of the house, it was kind of cool. But, after about maybe 6-7 months, he came to me. He's like, just out of the blue. Yeah, he all right. He all right.
He's a man of very few words. He's an observer.
I saw him, was like, he playing the video game. He is ignoring y'all in the background.
Yeah.
Like, so is he still home now?
No, he's finally got his own place.
Like, finally. I just wanted you to say finally, because people always get on me like, you are excited that your daughter moved. I'm like, yes. Like, you know how many lights I don't have to cut off now because she's not here? Like,
I mean, as a parent, you want your child to be independent.
And that's
You're raising them to be independent.
I don't understand why people take that so hard. Like, that's the goal at the end of the day. Exactly. Like, they're supposed to form their own household.
Exactly.
I don't know what I would do if she was still living there. And now she went and got a dog. So, that would have her and the dog living there. It'd be too much.
Yeah.
But I'm just glad that you guys were able to, man to man, especially a black man. Let's be all the way 100, because oftentimes when you're not the black man that's the father and their father in the situation, they're like, dude, you ain't my man, step to the side. And so I'm glad to see that you are taking the time to pour into that young man and giving him the opportunity to teach you too, because we don't do that enough in our homes. We just lay down the law, that's it, and this is what I said. So you guys have a very transparent home, and I got that feeling when I watched the girls video. Like, they love each other. Like, they love each other. But how was that? Because now you got like, okay, he is daddy here and he's my daddy. And so how did that all bundle up, Dad? Because little girls, well, I know me and my sister, we grew up in the same house. Right. We will fight over daddy.
They've never had an argument over me.
Really?
They've never had an argument over me.
You don't know.
Brooklyn is in the house, so she's the person I see every day, and I give her time. But when Jada comes, I give her time when she's there, and I talk to Brooklyn because we, have our own conversations. So she understands that, Jada doesn't live with us, so I give her time. But then I schedule time with the both of them, so nobody's missing out. And even if they felt like they were, we give them that platform to express that.
And I introduced them to all the old school games, because the kids nowadays, it's all about social media, phones,
tablets.
Right. They don't want to go outside. So I had to find something that would be new for both of them. You've never played this game from back in the day. You don't know anything about jacks. And that's how I was able to pull the girls together, because it was something new for both of them. And Benny's not a game person. He may play Uno every blue moon, but he's going to exit stage right. And
is he a Monopoly thrower? I need to know. Is he one of those people like, if he's not winning at Monopoly,
he's not even going to come to the table to play.
I'm not competitive
at all. So that's what I use to bring the girls together. Find an unfamiliar ground for both of them, and then and let them grow into that. So that's how that helped. But it probably helps that we have a house full of introverted people. So everyone is kind of always in their own corner until it's time for us to go somewhere or to have dinner. Or sometimes Benny will just make us all come down and watch movies, and we can connect like that. That's another big thing everybody in the house enjoys is movies. So that's a way of even pulling, my son in, is movies. even though I will fall asleep as soon as it starts.
That's me. I'm like, okay, everybody has a snack, everybody has a drink.
And they know it. I don't even know why they get mad. Like, I'm still in the room, I'm going to sleep.
We don't get mad anymore.
Oh, they used to just be irritated.
Okay, I have this question because I need to know who takes the longest to get dressed, because he was like, y'all get mad anymore because you fall asleep on the movies, but who is the primper in the relationship? I want to say I saw this on the video, but who's going to admit it?
I take longer than her.
Yes.
But neither one of us really take long.
He ties that bathroom up still 2 years in.
I saw the video. So I was wondering, was he going to confess it? You know,
yeah,
he knows it. So you tie in the bathroom up.
Yes.
Just say yes, Bennie.
I was waiting on him to come here for the interview, like outside. Like, hey, come on.
I had just got off work. I had to shower.
To brush his beard. Now he had to
he was trimming
I got to look presentable.
Like, oh my God.
You said it was going to be live.
Right.
Yeah, it's still him.
So now that we get to experience your whole entire family, what do you want people to take away after they watch one of your videos? After they watch, because this is the first season, and season 2 is coming up.
Oh yeah.
So what do you want people to take away from season 1?
I want people to be open. I want to create, a space where people can have conversations in their own relationship. The things that work for us may not work for somebody else, but we can at least initiate that conversation. What will work? Let's figure out what will work for us. So that's the biggest thing for me is I want people to start having those conversations in their own relationships. Yeah,
and that there is no such thing as a perfect life, perfect marriage, perfect family.
Perfect people.
Like that just does not exist whatsoever. It's a constant work, but we're excited about the journey. Just like if you get on a bus or you take, the Greyhound somewhere, you're going to see a lot of different things along the way before you get to that destination. So we're just very realistic that there's some things coming up along this path that we don't know what it is, but the point is we're all into this together. That's our mantra at the house. It's all of us or none of us, period, point blank.
And I like that. That's why I was like, when I thought of the me to we, like, you are no longer just an individual. You're an individual, but you still need to consider the other people in this relationship.
Every decision we make. Yeah.
All right. So reveal to us, what's the next project coming up? I need to know. I'm nosy. What are we doing next? Well,
we realized that, people look at us and they say, okay, well, you guys are just 2 years in.
Yeah.
And we don't claim to be, marriage counselors or coaches or anything like that.
And you do say that. You do say we're
exactly. We always
life.
give that same disclaimer. Look, we're not marriage counselors or coaches, anything like that. We're just sharing our journey. However, this is Mo's idea, so I'm going to let her tell it.
Wait, what?
About the season 2.
Oh, season 2. Okay, yeah. So you're right. We've been married, we've been divorced. Some people are like, well, how can you give advice? Because we can tell you what's on that other side. You can take it or leave it, but we've been there. But we also understand we have not been through enough together. So I decided, or I presented to my husband, let's let season 2, not even that we knew we would have a season 1. It just kind of grew into this thing. But let's let season 2 feature other married couples, literally right here in the city of Cleveland, that have been married at least 10 years plus, that have gone through some things that you and I have not even begin to touch on.
Correct.
That we may not go through. Just so another couple who may be experiencing that can say, hey, they made it through. They're at year 20. They went through this at year 7. Bennie and Mo don't know. They're only at, 18 months. And so we reached out to other couples like, hey, we would like to feature you in season 2. For instance, there is a couple that we interviewed that's been married for 36 years, but they had a child that was murdered. Wow. How do you stay together? How do you not emotionally disconnect to the point of divorce when you lose a child?
Right. And people don't realize that. Like, that is strenuous on a relationship.
Everything from interracial marriages and the struggles that they've had, we would never be able to tell you how to get through that. That's not our story. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we've interviewed a lot of other couples. We're always looking for more couples. As long as it's 10 years plus, I figure 10 years is a good solid number.
You've had
Yeah,
some
you've
time.
been through
You
some
made it
things.
over that
Right.
7-year mark. Like year 7 is gonna make or break you. That's what somebody told me.
Yeah.
Like year 7 is pretty much gonna tell you whether or not you can last all these other years. So I can appreciate you guys giving us the stories. I'm so excited for season 2 right now because they said it. I'm like, yes, we're gonna get to see more of you guys, but we're also gonna get to see other relationships because we don't see enough of that. We don't
Right.
see
There are
enough
successful marriages.
right, successful after divorce or never been divorced. We don't see enough success in our neighborhoods of people being married and staying strong and working through their problems.
Working
Right.
through it.
And so I'm extremely excited for that. So now, you two, as divorcees and now remarried, can you each individually give tips to somebody? There's somebody out there listening right now or watching who's trying to figure out how they go from me to we. They may be in a relationship right now. They may be on the verge of breaking up or not knowing what to do. What advice are you giving that person who's like, I want to be a me to we, but I just don't know?
For me, because this was vital for me, you have to come in the picture with your own happiness, And two, a lot of people have a list of things they want in a relationship. You know, he got to have this credit score, he got to be this height, or, you know, he needs this, that, and the other, or even her, she need a body like this. And I remember asking a group of individuals, you know, because they're like, oh, I've been wanting this ain't never happened. And then I educated, and I was like, did you ever ask God to send someone who was connected to your purpose? Ooh. That's the only thing that needs to be in your prayer. Are they connected to your purpose? And so that's the advice I would give, especially single moms, because I've been a single parent longer than I've been a married woman. And I decided this go around, I needed a man that can be an example of what I wanted my son to become and the type of man I wanted my daughter to marry. And that's what Bennie brings to this relationship. That's just my advice.
All right, Bennie, what are you telling the fellas? What do they need to know?
I'm going to piggyback off of that. I'll share what I did prior to us getting married. I recognized that there were some things within me that I needed to address. And so I went to therapy. And I says, hey, I met this girl. I think I like her. But I need to get me together. So I think the first thing you want to do is self-awareness, a self-check. You know you have an anger problem, or you know that you're needy, or you know these things about you. The things that you don't like about you, you know what they are. And you should address them, because pressure will cause those things to come out. You know, so I would rather deal with them, you know, before it becomes an issue in my relationship and potentially, you know, cause it to fail. So I would say seek help, get therapy.
You did that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so proud of you.
He did the work.
And see, that's another thing. It's all about doing the work. We just think that it's going to magically happen for us, or that we prayed and then the next day we meet a man and it's like, oh my God, I prayed and he came the next day.
Anybody that's been following me for any amount of time, they know that this is my 4th marriage. They know that they didn't work out, you know, so they're following me, you know, to see if this is going to last. But one thing I did that I didn't do previously, I didn't do a self-check. You know, I didn't realize that it was me causing some of these issues. So I wanted to be right, because I felt like this was the one right here. So I wanted to be right.
Oh, you know what the question is coming up next. How did you know? How did you know that this was the right one right here? Because, you know, I think oftentimes we hear like somebody like, as soon as a man meets you, he'll know that you're the one. And I'm like, you don't even know me, dude. Like, I could be totally crazy and not release that until month 4. Like, how did you know that she was the one?
I think purpose finds purpose. And like Mo was saying, you know, if you find somebody that's tied to your purpose, we both were in a place where, okay, we got to do bigger, we got to do better. And it just so happened that what she wanted to do aligned with what God called me to do, you know, and that's help people. And I have a passion for relationships. You know, people say, you've been divorced 4 times. Why should I even listen to you? You don't have to listen to me.
Well, you 4 times, you know.
You don't have to listen to me. I can tell you what not to do.
Right. I've got a list and a book on what not to do.
Yeah. And that ties into the whole season 2. You may not listen to me, but there's somebody that's 10 plus years in the game who they may have those answers for you. And they will help us to get to that point too.
The spiritual connection is important. That's truly it. I had to be honest with myself. Even my ex, I knew going into it that, you know, church is optional for them, you know, and I was born and bred in it. And even though I may not have been walking it all the time, it's still in me. And honestly, I am a worshiper, and I was asking God to send me someone or connect me with someone who is a worshiper. And I connected, my spirit connected with him in that way. And I remember even when he was going through in the beginning, I always tell him, you know, it reminded me of like a lighthouse. Like he was way out there and it was foggy, but it was still a glimpse of light that would still come around from time to time. And that's what attracted me to him. Like, yeah, I'm not going to leave him out there. You know, this fog will pass, but I could still feel a connection spiritually, even though he felt wounded. You know, it jumped in me like, ooh, but he got to do some work on himself. Like, he got to do some work on himself.
It's a good thing that you realize that worked. Yeah. I'm like, you know, we as women will be like, we can fix you. We can fix you up.
And I used to do that.
And you'll be all right. And so we're going to go ahead and fix you and make sure that you're all right. And then we fix him up, and then you go off. Then you be mad when he go off with somebody else. But you fixed him.
Like a project. I'm just going to nurture this and water it. Like,
and see, people are not projects for you to fix.
Boom, there it is.
You have to come. I'm so appreciative of you saying, like, you have to come into this with your own joy already, because the moment that you don't have that joy, you know, you can capture it back because you know you've given that to yourself before. All right, so how can we connect with you guys? I already know I'm gonna be stalking for season 2. Okay, so here are my questions. When does season 2 start? Like, when is this gonna air? And how else can we connect with you guys?
Well, let me apologize, because season 1 we were only supposed to take a couple months break, but I felt like I gave the entire world, so to speak, you know, I let them join me in our marriage. Like, it was almost about, when's the next project? We got to do the next video. What are we going to talk about? I'm like, hold on. I need my husband. And I said a few months. It turned into 6 months, 9 months, and now it'll be a year in August. So I'm like, okay, I got to have that. So our anniversary is in August. So season 2 will start towards the end of August.
I'm excited. Okay, cool. So check out for season 2. Be sure to like post it up everywhere. So I'm gonna be like, y'all, season 2 is on. Like, I'm waiting for Insecure to come on. I think it starts on Sunday. So excited. And so there are just certain shows. So I'm just gonna add you to that list to remind myself. Get my notification. Y'all get your notifications ready.
Yeah.
And what else?
It's you can catch us at Me2We, and it's the number 2. Me, the number 2, we, and then TV. That whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, we have Twitter. YouTube. I don't think we've tweeted. Like, I don't even know how to use
Twitter,
that.
You know what? It's okay. Everybody's falling off Twitter. Okay. I mean, some people like, I just stalk Anthony Hamilton on Twitter. But other than that, I'm not sure what purpose Twitter is serving right now. But I'm gonna get back to it. Always somebody's like, I'm gonna get back to it.
Like, I just can't get with that. Even the website is Me2WeTv.com. So everything is Me2We, the number 2.
And I love that. That Me2We. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. You guys are an awesome, amazing light. And I cannot wait to continue to watch you guys bring your stories and bring other people's stories to life, to give us all encouragement and inspiration to go out there and to try love. Like, to try love and to find somebody with purpose. Somebody going to tell everybody, like, don't talk to me. I don't see your purpose.
If you don't know what your purpose is.
I'm like, I got a purpose right now. I'm going to get a t-shirt that says my purpose is. And I'm going to walk around with it that way. I will attract the purposeful person. So thank you guys for tuning in. Hey, you guys, you know you can find me and the hottest kids on all my social media at Just One Hot Mom, and go on over to the blog where you will see our adventures there at justonehotmom.com. Guess what, hotties? You've been tuned in and you've been elevated. Talk to you soon.